Hey folks, we're going to do some Eberron stuff today. We're building brushes, texture brushes for the moss and the mushrooms that grow on the walls inside this bunker. But I don't know how long I'm going to be in. I'm waiting for my gal to show up. So I'm going to just do some of this artwork, build some brushes, or just play with texturing in general until something kind of like clicks into place. So just give me a hot second here, and just want to boost my signal for a moment. And if you can assist me in that effort, subscribe, like, share. Check out the description down below of the book content that I produce. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this stuff. So I'm almost done. I just need to check my signal now. Make sure I sound good. That sounds great. Cool. So I'm gonna grab that, and I'm just gonna jump over real quick and drop this off on Twitter. And let's see. I want to drop this into the Eberron Discord as well. So just give me a hot second here while I go drop this down in the Eberron Discord, and then we'll get to work. I promise we'll get to work. So let's see. Where is that? Where am I supposed to be at? There we go. And that should be good enough. Okay, cool. So let's get to work. All right, so 8th level adventure. Your characters can, spoiler alert, so heads up, yo. You can sneak your way down this passage here from the cemetery. You can you could swim your way in, or pop the roof and crawl in through the top here from the drowned fort. Then go down the stairs to here, or down the stairs here to this area. You can also come from the topside entrance and come down these stairways, or rappel down this elevator shaft to this flooded water area. You could also be teleported directly into this chamber here, which is a teleportation chamber. Also, has easy access in all directions. So there's a lot of ways for you to get into this place. And as you go through this facility, this clean air is white space. This greenish is the gas, the fog that's coming in from the manifest zone here that we have to Mabar. That's leaking in this way, and it's leaking in this way, and this is all the flood water that's come in from the topside entrance through these drains, flooding this area. But the fog effect here erodes the walls around them, so it causes this breakthrough, which allows the flood water to come in through here. But there's also, this is an open hole and it's raining, so this is filling up with water and that's pouring in. So you got this water pit. You have these doors that are closed that keep this fog from coming into this clean air area where the mercenaries can get rest and have like a kitchen set up and blah blah blah. So they have these doors that are like these giant bunker doors. I drew them on one of the previous streams. Check the playlist below for the Eberron stuff. This will be added to. And so they close these doors to limit where this fog gross effect gets in. These wind vanes. That's a wind vane. It's supposed to be a wind vane that turns, right? So it turns, and anything within 20 feet of it is swept of fouled air clear and fills the air with clean air. A fantastic item for Spelljammer, by the way. It just requires a foot pump, but you can just drop an unseen servant to pedal it, or you can get an advanced model which has an auto clock on it, so you can just pop a point of mana, and it'll just spin for 8 hours that way. Like a first level spell slot will spin for 8 hours, but it's basically infinite air that you can just do deep space recon and stuff like that. That you don't have to worry about getting inside of replenished airfields. It's just a simple little magic item, and it just keeps your world going in space. But so what we're doing is we're mapping out this stuff. This is the rough texture that I had to imply that this stuff is being corroded. But now I actually want to develop the actual texture for these walls, just to kind of breathe a little more life and energy into what we're doing. So since I get to illustrate the map myself, I get to. Oops! I better get rid of all this crap before it's permanent. Kearney, what have you done, sir? Thank you. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the save button. So right now we're playing with textures. Right now what I'm using is this brush that I built. It's basically a mountain brush. If you see it on the overhead map that I worked on, but if I sequence some of these things together and like resize them and then do the same thing with erasing, I get a kind of an interesting mountain texture effect. See? I can have a little pathway that goes through there. Like it's like this is awesome for world generation. It's just fun. But yeah, so this is just a mountain generator map that I'm using to create texture on the walls. And now I want to actually switch to a fractal, this fractal brush that I have. Hold on, let me go find that one. Mountain range, fractals, fractal set. Cool. Okay, cool. So that. That's what the fractal looks like. And I can, scale it down and have it connect at different points to do that fractal effect like that. So you got a lot of fun with brushes like that. But I wanted to be 0 drop down size. I wanted to come through here and just chew on these edges a little bit with that fractal brush just to see if I like what that's doing. And I don't know if I do or not. Yeah, no, I'm not driving with that. So I'll leave it there though. Let's erase like that a little bit. We're playing with brushes. We're going to find what we like. That's how the thing works. So let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. I've got this underwater frond kelp sort of thing that I built. So that might be actually a really good go on this one. So let's see how that one plays out. Well, that's actually pretty good. Ooh, I like that. I think we found a yinner. Maybe. I like it. I like it though. I like what it's doing. That's for sure. It's a super chaotic brush though. Eroding the wall. It's just that the fog gets on the walls, and then it just starts to crystallize, and it runs down the wall into these like little resin pockets along the creases, and it just slowly builds up. And once there's enough resin down, the spores and stuff from that's riding in the fog blowing in from Mabar will stick to the resin and then root, and it'll start producing stinking cloud effects that can poison your your heroes if they get tossed into it. And of course, the demons and stuff that are running around inside here aren't affected by it at all. So they can just lob you into that junk and then start beating on you. And there's not really much you can do about it until you can succeed the Constitution saving throw and get out of that, of basically having your ass handed to you while you're throwing up. Is kind of how that shakes out. So it's kind of rough going. I do like how I like how pockety that is. I'm losing that pocketiness, but I'm liking. Kind of liking how it's pocketed like that, you know. I don't think this is the right brush though. Let's try this one. Old, reliable, generic shrub. It's such a workhorse. It's a simple pattern, but you can do really cool stuff with it, real easy. Like, that's fun. You know, super easy to do. It's just ink blocks, like Japanese ink block paintings. It's the same effect. This is all joy of painting here, like Bob Ross, happy little trees guy. This is how that stuff works. Like, this is his technique. It's just that, you know, you can build it into Wacom by having by just using the right paintbrush, and you kind of learn what kind of a paintbrush you want just by evolving. And I guess I could sell these brushes, and I've been asked to, but I never got around to it. I don't know. It's I guess I could sell them. I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I like what I built. Like, they're my tools, man. It's not a picture I'm selling. It's I don't know. What's the big difference, you know? Like, what's the big difference between selling art tools versus building a D&D supplement that, you know, gives your DM the tools to quantify geopolitics in your campaign. You know, that's useful stuff. So, and I don't have any gumption about that. In fact, I celebrate selling it. In fact, that's what we're doing right now. We're building D&D stuff, yo. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Also, there's also an issue of bandwidth. Like, the business side of doing art production and content production is as much of a workload as the actual design process. And when you're a do-it-yourself guy like I am, and you're shouldering, you know, all the effort, then it's you stretch yourself thin. You can really stretch yourself thin. That's what I did with this project. I got myself involved in this project and the In Command project, which are both 100-page documents. They're huge documents. I'm trying to create a new document. I'm trying to create a new brush. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So give me a second here. I'm gonna fiddle this up a bit. There. Do that, and then we'll go to edit, and then let's see. Resize brush, define. Wall moss. There we go. That's your wall moss. That's your wall moss. Now let's see if I can remember how to pop this thing open. Nope, that's not the right button. Is this the button? Nope, that's not the button. Is this the button? Easy brushes, more brushes. I can never remember the name. Is that it? Nope. I'll find it. I'm the worst. It's been so long since I've gotten into this deep illustration that I cannot remember the name of the frickin' window. Brush settings, please tell me. Thank you. Shibu. Shape dynamics. There. Okay, cool. Now, get rid of that. Go back to here. Wall moss spin. There we go. Let me get rid of this. And we see if it's any good. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Maybe. Let's play with its shape a little bit like that. Nah, not very good. Didn't work out. Let's do that. This will probably work out. That's too much spin, buddy. Oh yeah, let's go with this. Let's see how this one goes. That ain't bad. I killed the document so I can go back, jump back into it. All right, second verse, same as the first. Oh yeah, I think this guy's gonna work out. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller over there like that. We have a gaggle of young girls that live in our neighborhood, and they like to scream. Like getting a collective like three of you like like just wail like banshees. They're fun, and you know they're always roughing around with older kids and getting beat up and stuff and getting hurt and stuff. You know, kids. It's cool though. It's pretty fun. That. Get into that. I am good. I am feeling pretty good about that. We're going to be doing I think what is this, Wednesday? I'll be probably shutting down here pretty soon. I can just, the force is telling me that the girl is nigh. Yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to be, I think it's tomorrow night, I'm going to jump on and do some Spelljammer conversion stuff. There's been enough high resolution YouTube videos floating around at this point that I've been able to have a large enough TV to read this stuff when they hold it up in front of the camera. And so I'm excited and I'm ready to move ahead. I was planning on August 18th to be when I went over it because that's the official Spelljammer date. But I already have it figured out, so I may as well do it now. And the sooner the better, because I want to give my playtest. I want to give my my in command vehicle playtest team some wings, and get them flying around in hell space to fight Zariel and as a space opera instead of driving across the deserts. I want them flying through hell space in not infernal war machines, but fighter ships. So that is what I plan to do. And the fighters work. The size of the Spelljammer ships are all at the 50-foot scale. Like most of them, they're like 30 feet wide and like 150 feet long, or something similar to that. It's exactly. I mean, they just recycled second edition deck plans and changed the names on some things and adjusted some numbers just to tweak it a little bit. But Otherwise, it's exactly the same illustrations, everything. So low hanging fruit there for Wizards, but it's great because I'm familiar with those mechanics. I'm really familiar with those boats. I did Spelljammer campaigns for years in the 80s and the 90s. So I love Spelljammer, and the conversion to vehicle mechanics into 5e has me legitimately excited, as they are working. So like fighter ships, and you'll see it. I'm gonna build it out. You'll see it. You're gonna freaking love it. It's cool. It is super cool. It's God. I'm so angry that Wizards is producing content so quickly now, because there's like a million projects I want to do. Like I said, I want to recant because I've bagged on Wizards big time about their mechanical simplicity or their aversity to taking risks, or how bland I often feel a lot of the flavor of their adventure, or their concepts in general kind of are. But I mean, it's pretty simple, but it does the job, and I really got to commend them for that. Like, they do really just provide like the bare bones. And I used to be angry about how much they wanted to offload DM prepping and like adventure design and like building motives and like having to tweak the CR system to work with the characters that they gave us rules to build, but just starts absolutely overtaxing the system. Like that's all like really old school D&D. Do it wrong until you figure out how to do it right, and it's completely different for every DM, balancing the game their own way. So I have to begrudgingly respect that the 5e stuff, they know what, I mean, they legitimately know what they're talking about. I don't necessarily agree with how they, what they say, but they know where they're coming from, and I understand their perspective. I respect that they are the authority on the game, and so they have to kind of God, there's so many new people into the game that just don't know any of this stuff. Like, you can just recycle a bunch of 3rd and 4th edition stuff, mash it up, and call it like some sort of like DM's toolkit or something. And then people that have only been playing the game for 2 years that are starting to ask questions about how is this game supposed to work, run into that stuff and they buy it like it's a new idea. But it's like, so I'm pretty stingy about who I respect because I've been around for 38 years doing this crap. So it's just it's ridiculous. So I was really upset when I didn't see the full picture of what Spelljammer 5e is, but I am, after being able to look over the shoulder of somebody at a really high resolution, like to get that sneak peek, like that full look at what the mechanics are and what they did. Monsters are monsters, that's cool. And there's only 2 spells, and races are races, that's cool. They're providing player options, and they're trying to be clever and speak to the new generation that's playing this game now that are actually important to the game. It's like, grognards like me, if we're actually playing 5e at all, we've been around so long that we're like, yeah, I can just bend this game into whatever I want. But 5e is so easily manipulated. It is by far the easiest game system that I am aware of to just... maybe Ukulele Bard would argue that Pathfinder is easier because all the math inside of it is already pre-built. But the mechanics are... 5e mechanics are as complicated as you want them to get, and they really kept them simple. Like, super simple. If you want your own D20 table of different atmospheric conditions you have to worry about when you enter a new planet's atmosphere, that's super low-hanging fruit. It already exists in 2nd edition. Just buy the box set. It's like $9 on DMsGuild. It's stupid cheap. It's just a PDF. It's a bunch of tables. Like that stuff. Like, I don't blame them for wanting to eat up page space for that stuff when you can just go buy it again. If you don't already own it, just go buy it. And but the 5e is just really addressing 5e stuff, and I'm really excited that that they kept it so simple that the Spelljammer rules for combat are identical to Saltmarsh. And the mechanics that we're using for Infernal War Machines right now in this playtest were built off of the variant Saltmarsh rules that I had already created and just refined through the Infernal War Machines. So now I can operate like in second edition you had to have a crew operating the rigging and sails on your ship to make the thing go. And God bless them, they got rid of that. The only crew that you need are for manning your guns, for having somebody tell the troop that's manning the guns to fire the guns, and a pilot. And that's exactly the kind of stance that my stuff takes. Anyway, I'm ranting a lot about Spelljammer on an Eberron stream. I am deeply apologetic, but I am super looking forward to running an Eberron Spelljammer campaign that is going to be super sick. But let's zoom in here for a minute and see how's this stuff looking, because I've just kind of been tapping and not really paying attention to where we're at. Do I like this? Do I like this? No, it's not granular enough. Like, I want this granular. I don't know how to, maybe old reliable curve branch will come through for me. So far, maybe curved branch is doing the job. Could be the one. This Epidemic music rental is or stream, whatever. It's panning out. It's I wasn't sure. I know there's maybe I'll branch out and check some other services. I don't want to get too many of them because they're all like $5 to $20 depending on what they're offering, and I don't want to end up with 7 streaming services for my music on top of the 7 streaming services I have for my TV. And blah. Epidemics is background noise. It's music I know. I'm not sick of it yet. I occasionally cycle in new stuff so that I can switch it up. But I legitimately like the music that I have playing here. I just wish a lot of it was like 2 or 3 minutes longer, so I could just breathe a little bit more. But it's cool. It's doing what it do. What was I trying to say? Yeah, I'm liking this texture. This is it looks like old evergreen branch is doing the job, and that's cool. So I can just start peppering this thing and flesh it out a little bit, make it look a little gritty. Do like that. Yeah, I'm liking this. Just a little bit of grit over here. A little bit of grit. It gets grittier as we go. That's what I wanted. Oh God, I love this map. Go. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm thinking here is I'm going to hit save. Bam! Save! I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so I could be pulled away at pretty much any moment. So this is fair warning to all the cats and kittens that I may be punching exit here anytime. So be forewarned, but we're super close to done first edits on the on this adventure. We've got DMs lined up for playtesting, and we're pretty happy with the initial feedback we've gotten so far as like overall legibility. This last encounter, this actual, like the actual fight scene that happens inside this Nexus, that needs some work. Like all the components are there, but just not happy with how they're structured. It's feedback we've gotten is that it's a little disjointed. It's a lot disjointed. That it's difficult to follow. So when I can talk it out, you know, what I do always makes sense when I get the chance to talk it out, and I can word salad at you long enough. But you can't always have that conversation with me. I mean, granted, you do have these. We're at our 40th episode of Eberron right now. Oh my god, that's insane. That's insane how much we've done with this. The cemetery maps and the fortress map and the topside entrance map, and now this is like the third iteration of this bunker map, and I'm pretty damn happy with it now. It's a fun little environment. It's got all this loopy-loo going around. It's neat. I would prefer that DMs run it with a team that can have multiple sessions, so that they have the chance to potentially siege this place, poke into it, change the mind of some of the people that are inside of here to start, tearing the place apart from the inside. It's cool. It is cool. The next adventure that's coming after this is going to be really cool. It's the one that I did the tap on tap burn playtest that I have on DMsGuild. If you follow my descriptions below, and they go into the core mechanics book that's on sale. You don't have to buy the book if you don't want, but the entire thing is there for you to read at no cost. But the point is that if you go down into the product description, there's a link to a 6-hour play test that I DM'd using the system with 4 players that had never didn't know anything about it. That was their deal. It's Babies with Knives. They bring on designers, and they have they put together an impromptu one-shot session with a bunch of designers that have time to do a one-shot as players, and then they have a guest designer show off their RPG or whatever it is that they made, and we did the color mana system that I had. It's gone through a lot of evolutions over the past 2 years, but that was the original release, and they loved it. Blah blah doo, it worked. So that was really encouraging. But what I'm trying to talk about is the actual adventure that I took them through. It's this frozen this monk monastery on top of a frozen volcano, and all the monks have frost powers, and they can use all their key stuff for doing I don't know, they have a X number of proficiency time per day. They can entangle somebody by doing a blast of cold air that freezes their feet to the ground, and it takes an hour for the ice to thaw out. So unless they can break free of the ice or spend time physically damaging it, they're stuck there. they're considered restrained. So it's cool stuff like that. But they have this giant monastery. They have this monastery at the top of this frozen volcano in this super north end reaches of Karnath territory, where it's like Alaska, cold, often cold. And just making sure I like how things are sitting here on the page. Do I want it to be sloppy and messy, or do I want to try to go and do geometric perfection? I will admit the answer is a resounding no. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I want my AI. I am so ready for art AI. I've got the chops. I can paint this stuff myself. I don't need to prove it to anybody anymore. I just want a computer to take it over and say, hey, here's here's a sketch or two. A dozen sketches, get real. Here's a sketch of an idea that I have. Make it look cool like Ravnica. And then let it, take my character pose idea and make it cool like Ravnica. It's that's legit what I want to do. And I want to do that for my book, so I can just crack out good-looking art, so I can just collapse my time frame, just get it done. God, I'm looking forward to that. That is so exciting. That's a couple years away. So all I really got to do is just build my design chops. And I love the illustration stuff, so I'll always be able to do little map illustrations and stuff like this. But if AI gets really, really good, book covers probably. Definitely interior art. Like, don't waste my time. Like, we're gonna get to a point where I can just say to the computer's like, hey, fill all that white space with contextually relevant information in the style of Da Vinci. And so they'll crack out a bunch of Da Vinci like line drawings, and for whatever it is that I'm talking about on that page, like some sort of artificer machinery or weapons or whatever. I'm rambling, but you get the point. God, I'm looking forward to that. The future is so sick. Just like, I had the idea already. Can't it just be done already? No one wants to pay me. You don't get paid for production, man. You get paid for ideas. You get paid for how well things could be implemented and how you can cross connect different systems so that they work better. And that's the kind of shit that I love to do. Like, that's exactly what my stuff is all about. So, like, this adventure itself is just a narrative example of being able to build out a system of random elements to create adventures, which is what I did with the Frozen Temple adventure that I did. But I'm going to build that one out just like I'm building this one out, and into 3 acts, and there's danger in each act, and there's multiple ways to transition from one act to another. You show up in town, it gets attacked. You then have to climb the mountain, and there's a number of ways. You can either climb up the interior of it, or you can take the mountain pass that's littered with yetis, or you can convince an old artificer to gear up his spelljammer ship to fly you up to the top of the mountain, but then it crashes. So then it got you up there fast, but now you're in the frozen waste, in the top of a frozen volcano, and you got to make sure that you stay healthy. And there's patrol, there's like snow cobra commanders up there and stuff running around trying to find you, and it's cool. Go watch it. It's 6 hours. It's 2 episodes. But it's fun. It's super fun. And the band mechanics themselves have changed a lot over the past couple of years. And in the document I have, you can still get the original version of it. But I've just had a lot more experience using the mana system over the past couple of years, and there's just more revelations. The more you master a system, the more you see how you can tweak it. God, I'm excited about the books that are coming out, man. I'm really looking forward to August 18th. I'm hoping they're going to announce some sort of really impressive MTG D&D project. Because as cool as my color mana is, I don't think whatever they come up with is going to threaten it. But what I hope that they do is produce an easy color mana system. Like if you cast Fireball, you expect it to be red because magic. But unless Wizards wants to go that way and say absolutely a Phantasmal Killer is a white and blue spell, like, I would celebrate them for doing that. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be willing to do that or not. So whatever it is on August 18th, chances are it's not going to step on anything that I've done so far, but it's going to give me a whole new path for me to create new stuff. Maybe it's Zendikar or Ikoria. I'd love to see Hollow World. I think that would be super dope. We'll see what they turn out, and I'm looking forward to it. But man, Spelljammer, dude, I've got all tomorrow night for me to stream, and so that's why I'm streaming here now on this map, so that I'm getting the art bug out of the way, so I can go back in to the in command document tomorrow and flesh out those mechanics. So I'm really looking forward to that. You have no idea how excited I am about Spelljammer. Like, I was immediately bummed to hear that Spelljammer was announced, because it's like, these projects aren't going to be done until next year. I am just dying. I am dying to get into Spelljammer so much. I love Spelljammer. I love designing ships. I've got 500. I have a 500-foot 10-level carrier that can carry large size flitter fighters, And it's like all the mechanics are good to go, man. That thing is a monster. I am just dying to start punching out Spelljammer Eberron content. So freaking sick. Because I've been running Spelljammer and Eberron for years. Not to sound like a ha ha ha, but it's like it's awesome. I use that tone because Spelljammer is so awesome in Eberron. Like, their airship is cute and stuff, but get out of the way, Spelljammer, yo. Like a space opera campaign where each nation and the continents are separate planets and asteroids, and then throw a Spelljammer into it. It's so sick. And then you start putting weapons on it, and you don't have like that stupid accord that's like, oh yeah, we can't militarize airships. They can at best transport troops. And it's like, forget that, dude. We're gonna fly 2 weeks to go attack that moon, and I'm going to have guns on my ship. It is so sick. The space dwarf mining, like the Moorhold space operation of mining the crystals of Sybaris to the tears of Sybaris, the asteroid-sized crystals that hang up there. So you have to fight Reirdra and Kyber abominations to get your, to keep your claim, to keep it from getting jumped by an aberration monster or an enemy nation. It's so cool, man. That stuff is sick. I don't know. I'm putting the idea out there, and I know it can get sniped, but there's no reason to try to keep it inside. It's all I want to talk about. If somebody beats me to the punch, I'll at least have my own take on it, So, and I guess I'm kind of time stamping it because it's like it's 7:42 p.m. PST 8/10/2022. I am saying dibs on the Eberron Spelljammer space opera campaign. So that's mine. You might come out with it first, but you can look at any of my work and realize that I'm going to do it well. So if you want to do Spelljammer Eberron, let me know, and I will keep you in my process loop. Because I can't do it all alone. All I want to do is put out the idea, make the maps, and for the asteroids and the different nations, and having their own asteroid cities and stuff like that. I want to focus my attention on that and the character and the ship illustrations. And I want to edit. I want to do layouts, and I want to do the illustrations for it. I want to hire like 2 writers to give them 10% each, for them to take all the different mechanics and books that I've put out that everyone can read for free and start mashing them together. Seriously, I want to pay. What I really want to do is get all these toolkits built so I can hire a writer and say, hey, pick something that you think that you think is cool, that's your favorite. Of all my work, what do you think is the coolest, your favorite, and build something with it. I'll edit it, I'll do layouts and all that stuff. I'll give you 10 to 15%. I'll give writers up to 20% based on the size of the book and the amount of content that they produce, and I'll do the rest. And I just want to get in a pipeline like that, where I'm just doing artwork and maps and stuff like this all the time. Meanwhile, I've got writers running around that like my work and want to do more with it. I want to fund those guys. I want to give them a piece of my pie by having them build their own stuff and let me be involved with it. So that's my dream. That is my God, that is my dream. That is what I want to do, and I think it's like a year or 2 away. So I just got to get these tools built, martial powers, the adventure book, the in command system, and revise the 5-color mana system. That's a lot of lifting to do, but I think between now and 2024, 6E or whatever they're going to call it, I think I can get it all done. So that is my goal, and at that point we'll know what 6E did to change the world, and I can then recalibrate my books to go with the New World Order so they stay present, and then once they're recalibrated, then I can start hiring out people for using those mechanics to build whatever 60s stuff we all decide is cool. Like I did the case study with the Senate Combine. I 100% want to do a full book of In Command of Ravnica's guilds. In command of the guilds. In command of Ravnica would be what it is, and then build out guilds for all 10 of the guilds. I will illustrate it. I'll help with the logistics. That's technical editing, which I would be the most qualified to do. And while I'm at it, I may as well just do copyright and just get better at doing that stuff. So that's exciting. And then and then the page. Like, I just go through the entire stupid process, like the entire thing. Just do it all here online. How sick is that? Hopefully in a year or two, I'll have a large enough crowd of folks that are interested in, looking at and playtesting my content regularly. So I can start building a decent stable of smart mechanical guys that are fun to hang around with, and hopefully have a good mix of different types of folks so that we're getting some perspective in there. God, I just want to build a team. I just want to build a team, and I just want to make things and make money making them. It's just what a fun thing to be able to be, Just be that guy. That sounds awesome. I'm going to scuttle all this in. I'm going to outright just do that. I'm going to grab. I want to get to a point where the stuff that I'm putting out, like systems, like the systems and campaign concepts and the toolkits, right, are strong enough that people will trust that I'll help them be successful. So, God, just how cool! I gotta say, Cameron Day. Hats off to Cameron Day, because he has leaned into that with class design, and I gotta catch up with Cameron because I just like the cut of his jib. Daylight. I think it's Daylight Production, Daylight Studio. Hold on. There we go, Daylight Productions. He does this mentorship program, and I freaking love it. Like, I want to buy this guy a beer and just pick his brain for a while because he's got cool stuff going on. I really respect Daylight. Cam's cool, man. Here's a bunch of stuff that he's built. I love his stuff. It's fun. Just look at that. He's just got all of this stuff. I want to be this guy. I just want to do I just want to have people on board with me just building stuff. Like, let me build a flagship and let me grab a guy, like a dozen guys to like build 5 or 6 things around that flagship. And let's just go. Let's just do this. It's so freaking cool. My bandwidth is just killing me. I am Jack's utter lack of bandwidth. Like, how many? I can't possibly have enough spoons to do this all by myself. I'm still trying to learn. Like, I want to make sure that the flagships are all right, so I can start trusting that the basic framework is what I want it to be. So I can trust that other people, can do. They can do what can do. They can do it right. They can do it their way, and I can support them doing it. Rick and Morty, 100 episodes. I'm looking forward to the 6th season of Rick and Morty. That's going to be sick. It's like in 3 weeks. I'm really looking forward to that. I love Rick and Morty. I'm not a crazed Szechuan sauce fan, but I love that show. difficult to navigate. I'm pretty happy with where this. I'm just going to work on this until I get the call, and then I'm just going to drop stream. Because I'm just basically mincing pixels, you know. Chop, 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 chop. Like how fine do you want to chop those onions, sir? Like, it's so obviously structured down here. What the hell? What was all this? What was this at one point, you know? Well, I should probably provide a really simple. Like I have to get serious now about like what are the assets that are needed in this thing? How do they need to look? How are we gonna make sure they look good? Like, all that crap. That's becoming serious business now. There we go. Man, I am pleased. Bend that out a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Content? Are we happy? File equals save as. Bunker written. Yeah, like that. Arguing with this corner over here. I don't mind the tussle. I don't mind the tussle. Punto. I see what that really rough approach was doing for this corner up here. I didn't recognize how valuable that super sketchy loose style was, because it really allowed you to conceal the truth of that passage. The more crisp I make these walk spaces, the more defined I make the squares, the more obvious it is for the secret passage to show up. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Yeah, I've fallen into that space where I don't talk a lot, and I apologize for that for anyone that's trying to stay awake. I ain't gonna help you. I am not your go-to guy for staying awake. Do, do, do. Meh. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's a messy thicket. I don't know how I created that problem. I gotta fix it. I can't find a smart way to fix it, so I gotta do it the dumb way. What's going on with you? God, are you serious? What was I doing? This sucks. I must have merged this with an old water layer at some point, and I just sometimes my vision fails me. You know, I don't see color, so sometimes I just don't realize what's happened, and I have to eat important production time to make this thing right. Boy, oh boy. Well, hey, at least it's going faster. At least it's going faster than I thought it was going to go. That's cool. This. Do, 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 do. Almost there. Stay on target. The stairs lead up to the top side entrance, where there's about 20 first-rank guards, like you know, CR half or whatever, like with a CR1 commander, and your characters, 8th level characters aren't going to have a problem with that. Shit, even 6th level characters aren't really going to have a problem with that. But if you're teleporting in, or if you came in from over here, or if you came in from over here, you don't really have a chance to really engage with them up there. So, and if you don't do anything to get them to ignore you, or like when violence starts going down, if you don't give them a heads up, you guys want to skip scene when that happens. It's bad news for you. They're going to come down and try to defend this place from your characters. It's going to end up being a bigger, uglier fight than they bargained on, which is awesome because of the DM needs ads, because the team's wiping the floor with them, and these guys can just come down from the top side entrance, or you can even have all the undead from the cemetery come down this tunnel. But that's one of the sections we need to have a section about ads, like where do you add additional threats from? Where do they, when your team is meticulously digging their way through this entire place and tearing every room apart, how do you continue adding new bodies to the battlefield in such a finite space? Like, you have to have a lot of different entry points that they can't keep eyes on. Because anywhere that they don't have their eyes on, that's a place that you can have NPCs reinforce current troops. So that's why we built so many entryways. Not only so that the players can just play in these different map environments and decide which one that they like and stick with that one to go tear apart. But it also, like I was just saying, it gives you an opportunity to have more ads on the board. So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking at it. Smudgy this a bit. There we go. Do you remember how this used to be, Kearney? Can we go back that far? Only have 50 steps. I think I only have 50 steps. Yeah, well, that looks pretty good. Like that. Hey! All right, so that's, boy, I really fell into that one. That's it for stream for today, and I will see you guys on the other side. So...